Welcome back to another Greg Dennis review, and in today's video we're checking out the GWM Tank 300. It's a grown-up Jimny, it's a Chinese Jeep, and it's the poor man's G-Wagon. But it is one of my favorite offerings from the GWM stable, so in this video, hopefully, I can tell you exactly why. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, I have reviewed a GWM Tank 300 before, but that was the 2-liter hybridized version of it. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link up in the card over there that you can go and see. But today we're checking out the non-hybrid version. This is the straightforward 2-liter turbo, nothing complicated, no batteries to charge, no being able to drive on battery alone. This is just pure standard motoring as we're used to. And it's actually a really nice car. It's got the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine putting out 160 kilowatts and 380 newton meters of torque. And when you put your foot down, it's got some decent power to it. It feels good. There isn't a lot of turbo lag, and that was one of the things I was trying to kind of suss out when I first got this on test. So I needed to check that out, and I'm pleasantly surprised with how responsive the car is. There's a slight little bit, but I've driven worse cars before. The lag has been a lot worse in other cars, specifically more of the Chinese cars. But that being said, that's why this is probably one of my favorite offerings from GWM, because there isn't that much lag. It drives nicely, it's quite responsive. And if you get into the different drive modes down here, there's a button here called, I think it's expert mode. And once you get into that, you can configure how you want to drive the car. So there's 3 different custom settings, and you can choose how you want to drive it, from normal, sport, eco. You can adjust the steering from comfort, sport, and light, as well as the stability control and all of that. And you can kind of set those 3 to how you want them. I'll keep it in my sport mode, and that's why when I put my foot down, the car goes immediately. There isn't a lot of lag, and it does feel really, really nice. So it's a really good car to drive. But that being said, like I mentioned, this isn't the hybrid version, so you aren't going to experience slightly better fuel consumption. I mean, GWM already claims 9.5 around there as the average fuel consumption, which already isn't that good. But I've been getting around 13s and 14s. I haven't been able to get it much lower than that. It has been on the highway a couple times, but it just hasn't been able to get as low as I would have liked it to during the course that I did have it. So it's a little bit heavier on fuel, as to be expected. I don't think we were expecting a petrol car like this to be light on fuel at all. But that being said, there is a 2.4-liter turbo diesel coming out soon, which is going to be the pick of the bunch. I can't wait to drive that one to see exactly how that is, because I know that that's the car that South Africans are waiting for. That's what they wanted in the tank. They finally delivered it, and that hopefully will come soon, and I can't wait to drive that one, because that's the same engine that's in the P300. So I've driven it, it feels good, but I think it's going to just make this tank the perfect car from GWM. But engine and fuel consumption aside, the one thing that stands out about the Tank 300 is definitely its design. It's got a retro look to it, it's boxy. I love the round headlights and those horizontal daytime running lights that they've built into it. It's a pretty good shape overall, nice big wheel arches, flared wheel arch flares. I don't know if I even got the wording right there, but the wheel arches are flared, they're pretty wide, they look cool, it makes it look aggressive. It definitely looks like an off-roader, and that's because it is. You also have the abilities to go into all-wheel drive if you want to, so it is a 4x4, you can go 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. You've also got the ability to go into low range, so this is definitely been built to go off-road, and once you are there, you can also adjust the different off-road drive settings. So if you're going through mud, water, the ruts, sand, all of that, you've got the ability to change whatever you need there to obviously get through any obstacles that you may come across. You are also able to lock your differential at the back. So again, just adding to its off-road credentials, I think that that's really cool. You've also got that slow speed downhill descent control, which also helps you off-road. So a lot of off-road settings that you've got here, as well as tank turn, which locks your inside wheel and makes your turning circle very, very tight. So another cool feature, they've really thought about everything in this tank to make it an off-road king. Now, obviously, I haven't been able to go and do all of that, but trust me, if I do get an opportunity to go off-road, I'm definitely want to take this to actually test it out and put it to the test. And when I do that, I will definitely bring you along. And thanks to its boxy design on the inside, it's very spacious. You've got a huge cubby hole, you've got huge door bins, you've got a lot of leg room, especially for your passengers in the rear there. They can sit very comfortably, lots of space in front of their knees, especially me sitting comfortably there. I mean, this is in my driving position and that's how much leg room I've got, as well as the headroom. You've even got a sunroof, so a lot of lights inside you. It makes it feel bigger. It's a very nice cabin to be in. There's soft touch materials, there's leather stitching. Yes, there is some weird hard plastics and that sort of thing, but again, it's an off-roader, so it needs to be durable. It needs to be able to take a bit of a beating, so I think, you know, having some of those fancy materials might not be that good, but whether people go off-road in this that's a whole nother thing completely. But yeah, it's very nice, it's very comfortable. You've got these vinyl leather seats, I'll call them, but you do also have the option, if you go one spec up, to get the actual Napa leather, and I think that's very cool. I did feel what those seats were like. I don't think these are the ones with it, but when I did drive those, very comfortable, it feels very luxurious, and you almost forget that you are driving a car from China, because they're just keeping up with the standards now and they know exactly how to be building cars today. But keeping with the theme of the inside here, it's completely filled with all of the kits, technology and features that you could need. Digital screens up front here, 360 camera systems, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, the automatic parking features, like I've said, the drive modes. They have given you some shortcut buttons for your climate control, which is nice. You can adjust the fan speeds and the temperatures without having to go into the menu itself. So that's some good learnings that brands are now coming back with. They're giving us more buttons, wireless phone charging, USBs Type A and Type C, a really cool shaped gear selector, which is now common in the Tank, but they've now brought it into some of the other cars within GWM too, that's okay. Some more storage underneath here, cup holders, everything you can need. Yeah, man, this car's kitted out. Paddle shifters if you want to go in manual. A really nice driving car, sporty, luxurious, comfortable, capable. This is why it's probably one of my favorite cars from GWM. And then taking a look at the boot, you can see it opens up like a proper door. So you do need some more space at the back of the car if you are opening it up. So don't back into a parking if you're doing groceries, because you won't be able to open it up properly. But there's a lot of space in there thanks to the car being quite boxy and square. You've got quite a big area and load space to do that, as well as obviously a full spare wheel on the back because it's not underneath. Time to go through a roadblock. I always get pulled over when I'm driving test cars, and just like that I did get pulled over. Let's see what happens.
How's it?
Good.
Cool, man.
Sure. Checking the outstanding fines, huh?
Sorry.
Okay. But Dennis.
Yes, sir. He's walked away with my license. Don't know why he walked away with it. If you have a fine, are you meant to be paying them on the spot like this? What's actually legal? Let me know down in the comments. I think we need to show people. I should technically have no fines because the only car in my name is my E36, which I barely ever drive. All these test cars aren't in my name, so it shouldn't reflect on my license. So I'm interested to see what they say. Oh, there, hi. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Nothing to worry about. Okay, so with that out the way, let's get onto the verdict in the form of the GDR test. Should you get it, drive it, or remove it from the list of cars that you're looking at? Now, I would say go and get this. It's not the first Tank I've driven, so I've been able to drive two of these and at launch, and I've always been very impressed with what this car has to offer, how it drives, how it looks, everything has got under the bonnets, technology, warranties, and all of that stuff. It is going to set you back 725,000 Rand for this particular version. But hopefully, I mean, luckily, now that the 2.4 litre diesel's here, that's going to be even cheaper. And I think that's around 699, but I will confirm that. So good pricing. I think this is really good value for money. So that's why I'm saying go and get the GWM Tank 300. Now, if you're in the market to get yourself a GWM Tank or any other 4x4, then go check one out on changecars.co.za. They're a website that sells new and used cars, but the best thing about them is that they vet and check every single dealership that sells cars on their website, making them the safest online platform to buy and sell cars in South Africa. The website's also great for everything you need to know about automotives, from car reviews to buying advice. You can even do some financial things through their website too, and you can bring them quotes from dealerships that aren't on Change Cars. And not only will they match the quote, but they'll beat it too. So there's a lot of great things on their website, so go check out changecars.co.za. They're also a proud partner of Greg Dennis Reviews. So thank you so much for watching this review of the GWM Tank 300. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a whole bunch more about it. And if you did enjoy it, please do drop a like below. And if you want to see more videos like this, other car reviews and other car content, then please subscribe. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.